Welcome back. This is the continuation of learning dimensional analysis. So we will go ahead and go to level 1, okay, the very easy level, okay, of the dimensional analysis. So here is a question, and I have two options for you. One option is that you can pause the video right now and try to do the question first and see if you get the question by yourself alone, and then you can check the answer by fast forwarding to the end of the video and see if you get the right answer. If not, you just come back and watch it, or you can just stay with the video and we'll continue to explain how it works. All right, so when you look at this question, it says convert 5.23 miles to millimeter. And given that 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. Okay, so this is a very easy question because you can see that 5.23 miles, if you think about what you learned from the previous video, you look at the unit miles, what dimension is it in? And that's right, it is length. And you are converting a length to another length. So there is no dimension change. So what we're doing is simply changing units. So all we need to know is that what kind of conversion factor that we need to have to complete our calculation. So as you can see here, some students will find it a little bit struggling because I give you miles to millimeter as the task, but I'm only giving you from mile to kilometers. So one thing that you should know prior to completing this question is, do you know the prefixes? Like, do you know K stands for kilo? Do you know the M stands for milli? And 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. And then 1 meter, it's equal to 1,000 millimeter. Okay, so if you don't know that, or if you don't know those equivalencies, then now it's a good time to make sure you know all those metric shorthands, like K stands for 1,000, milli stands for 1 over 1,000, micro means 1 over micro means 1 over a million, and so forth. Okay, so we will start by having the 5.23 miles in our calculation. And this is fairly easy because that's the only number that you are given. And we start from a length and we end with a length. So as we analyze this question, we would like to ask, so how are we going to change the units? What's the path? Okay, what is the path? The path is going to be, well, what can we change from miles? And as you see the given information, we can set up the conversion factor so that we can go from miles to kilometers. Okay, so that's the reason why we'll put the miles in the bottom, in the denominator of the conversion factor, and the kilometer in the numerator. Okay, and the numbers you just pair up. Okay, you see based on the given information. 1 mile is to 1.61 kilometers. So you just match the number with the units as the given information there. So you would not make a silly mistake. And I just want to chime in with a little quick comment. If you don't write units, it's really hard for me to save you, okay? It's hard for you to get it right if you don't write units. So for those who are a little bit lazy or trying to save some writing, this is not the time. If you want to be lazy, you actually have to do a little bit more work so that you don't have to work harder later on. So please bear with me and please write units. Okay, so after this first conversion factor, we will have a number in kilometers, but that's not what we want. We want in millimeters, right? So then we need to think about what can we do. Well, if you know the conversions, we know how to change from kilometers to meters, and that's the reason why we set up this next conversion factor. Again, we put the kilometers in the bottom and we put the meter on top. And since we know that 1 kilometer it's equal to 1,000 meters, that's why we put it this way. And last but not least, we have the meter to millimeter. Okay, so 1 meter it's equivalent to 1,000 millimeters. Okay, so this is how we set it up. And one key thing to do in the calculation is how to check your work. So the way you check your work is by knowing how the units are canceled. And the units are canceled because this is practically a fraction multiplication. Okay, so the first one, 5.23 miles, is in the numerator. You see the miles in the numerator, you see the other miles in the denominator, and this is the reason why they would cancel each other out, since they are dividing each other. Okay, so a simple fraction understanding on the multiplication of fraction. So if you have the same term in the numerator and denominator, they would cancel each other out, so you have 1 by itself. Okay, so we keep on doing this unit cancellation, and this is how you check your work to make sure that you're on the right track. If the units are not being canceled out, then you know something might not be correct, and if you do everything correctly, the only unit that is left should be the unit that you want. Okay, and in this case, as you can see here, this is the millimeters. Okay, and now we are very comfortable. Okay, we are comfortable. Okay, smiley face right here, and we can use our calculator, and then we can start computing. So, and if you put into your calculator correctly, you should get a big number, and we do anticipate a big number because millimeters, it's very, very tiny. So when you have 5.23 miles, you expect to see a huge number because there should be a lot of millimeters in a mile, and here we have 5.23 miles. So that's how you make sense, and then you say, all right, I think this answer is correct. Okay, that's how you make sense out of it. So now this is the so what we just went over is the level 1. I hope it is very nice and easy. Okay, you can handle this. And now we are heading to the level 2, which is a little bit complicated, not too much. So please click on the next video to watch the level 2 video on dimensional analysis.